Hello team and family. Today we're going to use the UPSC problem solving process to solve this word problem. Number 2. Mari baked 4 dozen cookies in 3 hours. At this rate, how many cookies did Mari bake in 1 hour? First, let's go ahead and draw our box in the middle. Put our 4 letters, which stand for understand, plan, solve, and check. For understand, I'm going to put number 1. It asks, what are you asked to find? That's the first thing I need to write down. So I'm going to underline the question, and then I'm going to write it over here. How many cookies did Mari bake in 1 hour? So we want to know how many cookies did Mari bake in 1 hour. Number 2, the facts. So I see 4 dozen cookies. I also see in 3 hours. So I'm going to put 4 dozen cookies. And I'm going to actually put right now what that equals. So 1 dozen is actually 12 of something. So 4 dozen, and I'll do the math right over here, 12 times 4 would be 4 dozen. 12 times 4, 4 times 2 is, 4 times 1 is, so it's 48, so I'm going to put 48 cookies. So I know that 4 dozen cookies is actually 48 total cookies. And I'm also going to put down here 3 hours, because that's how long it takes me to bake those 48 cookies. And then number 3 of the understand section, is there any information given that you will not use? I'm going to say no, I think I'll use it all. So all the information I'm going to use. So plan, let's plan it out. What strategies or strategy are you going to use? Well, I know that I have 48 cookies, and that's 48 cookies that are baked in 3 hours. So to figure out how much it is per hour, per 1 hour, I can just take the number of cookies, so I'm going to put number of cookies, and I can divide it by the amount of time. And if I divide it by 3 hours, I'll put in parentheses hours, so if I divide the number of cookies by 3 hours, then I know I should get the number of cookies you can bake in just one of those hours, because I'm breaking 48 into 3 equal groups. 2, have you solved any similar problems before? I've done division problems like this before. I have a total, and then I'm dividing it by time. So I've actually done that before. We did a similar problem like this on problem number 1, so that's something I've done before. So solving it out, follow your plan. My plan was to take the number of cookies, which is 48, and then I'm going to put a fraction bar, and underneath it I'm going to put the number of hours. So it says 48, and it took 3 hours to make those 48 cookies. Now I want to divide that, so I'm going to put my division bar. I remember when I put 48 over 3 like this, I remember FISO. FISO means first in, second out. So 48 goes in, 3 goes out, and now I'm going ahead and dividing. So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to do the partial quotient method. Try something a little bit different. I know that 3 goes into 48 10 times. 3 times 10 is 30. Subtract, and I'll put my steps over here. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then repeat. So then I know 48 minus 30, 8 minus 0 is 8, 4 minus 3 is 1. So I still need to figure out how many times 3 goes into 18. So here I know 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm going to put 6 below here. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 minus 18, 0. I take my partial quotients, which are 10 and 6, I add them together, and I get 16, and I can box it in up here on the top. Last step, checking, just to make sure. Did you answer the question? So, I got 16. I know that that's the number of cookies for 1 hour. And I know that it should be less than 48, because if in 3 hours we bake 48 cookies, if we have less time, we're going to make less cookies. So yes, I did. And I can even put comma, less cookies. So I know that I have less cookies than 48, which is a good thing. I shouldn't have more because I have less time to bake those. Number 2, is your answer reasonable? Well, if I take 16 times 3, let's see if that gets me 48. So I know that if I multiply 16 cookies in 1 hour times 3 hours, I should get 48. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. 48. So 48 matches my dividend over here that I'm starring. Matches my dividend, so I know that 48 matches that, so it's reasonable. So my answer is yes, it's reasonable. And then number 3, once again, are there other strategies that you could use? Of course there's always other strategies. If we were given the answer choices, I could just do what I did over here, and I'm going to draw an arrow. I could have just multiplied the number of cookies times 3 to get 48. So whatever number of cookies is correct will get me 48 when I multiply it by 3. Since I didn't have any answer choices, the other thing I could have done, I could have done different methods, like partial quotient methods, what I did. I could have done the long division method or the column division method. I could have also, but this takes a while, and that's why I didn't do it, I could have subtracted 3 from 48 and kept going, repeated subtraction, until I got to 0, and then I would have known how many times 3 went into 48. But I think division's better here because we know how to divide. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the middle 16 cookies. And that is my answer.